This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey, it's Christina.
Hey, it's Jenn.
Hey, it's Cate.
Real Estate Misfit Moms.
Do you set personal goals over your business goals? Do you set any goals? What are your goals in life?
All the goals.
One of you?
I am a serial workaholic.
Same.
So I enjoy working. And to my husband's dismay, because he always says that I'm in business mode. Because I'm like, don't touch me, don't talk to me, don't if I'm on the phone, he tries to communicate about dinner, and I'm like get out of my face.
Just cook it already.
Yeah, make a decision. So I have noticed, and part of the reason why I feel like we set up January the way that we did, it's partially a really big education for us.
Right.
So it's partially selfish, and partially we really do want to educate others. But I have noticed over the past, I would say 4 to 5 years, I would say all of my goals have been professional. I haven't had one family goal, one personal goal. When I write my goals out, because that's what you do. You write your goals for your professional life. But, I've never sat down and, with Will and been what are our goals this year? What do we want to accomplish? What do we want to do?
Do people do that?
Yeah, people do.
Do you do that?
I don't know that we have sat down and had those conversations.
But you talk about them?
Well, not really. If I look back at my calendars, I always at the beginning of the year, on the front page, I'll write down, 2 or 3, 4, 5 goals, whatever it may be. But looking back, it was things like remodel the kitchen, or pay this off, or have this much in savings. So kind of the same. Now I have had it
to work though, because where does that money come from?
Yeah.
Right. I have had written down as goals take X amount of family vacations.
Did you?
No.
Okay. I guess my question, the reason I asked that is because, I don't know that I have literally ever had someone ask me, what are your goals? Your personal goals. It's always
personal.
What are your business goals?
Right.
You meet, in my brokerage, we meet with our broker at the beginning of the year and we talk about what our goals are for the year. Or you meet with the people closest to you, your working community, hey, let's share goals so we can follow each other. I'm sure the three of us will sit down in the coming weeks and talk about our goals for 2024.
Right.
But I literally don't think anyone's ever said, what are your personal goals? Me and Jared are always let's be debt free. And I'm oh, let's open another credit card. And Matt shames me on that. Yeah. That's fine. Matt can continue to shame me on that. But that's my life I live. That's how I live at the moment. And and then I'm my other goal, is for Jillian, eat better. And I don't change anything. I try for a whole week and then I'm I don't care anymore. Do you want a bellyache? Have a bellyache. But who's supposed to ask that question? Are your friends supposed to ask that question? Are you supposed to ask that yourself?
I think it's yourself. I think it is your friends. I think that's check in. When, around Thanksgiving, and I'm not going to ugly cry, but when around Thanksgiving, you checked in with me.
Yes.
Because my dad died in November.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me.
Right.
It is. And that's okay. You should check on people anyways. Christina checked on me Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she texted me and said, hey, how are you doing? Because last week was crazy for me.
Yeah.
And I was I'm mentally not prepared to do some things.
Yeah.
Because I was mentally overloaded. But all it took was her texting me, and it wasn't even in our group chat. It was just her texting me hey, how are you doing? And that means more to me than anything.
Yeah.
Even if the response was I'm fine.
Yeah.
I probably was lying, but I am fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Ish.
Well, and I do think it is a significant other thing. Right? Will and I have this, we saw it actually on social media, but we have a daily check-in. And so if I've had a really busy day and I'm dealing with the kids and my kids are a disaster and whatever it is, and he's going to be home at night, which is not always the case. I'm like, I've got 50% to give to you tonight. I've got 10% left in me.
I like that.
Like, it's like a battery. Like, it's like a cell phone battery, right? Like, it just, sometimes your battery on your cell phone goes from 100 to 0 really quick, and sometimes you can last for days. But there are, like, harder times. So, like, Will and I do check in, but the one thing that we haven't done, and we've, like, said it, but then haven't, like, put it down on paper, haven't, like,
made a plan
to get there. But I know that, like, his parents do it, and I know that I haven't even, it's like I've spoken into the ether. So now, like, I'm seeing it on my TikTok. I'm seeing it on my Instagram, where it's like, you have business meetings at work. Why don't you have a business meeting at home where you do discuss those goals with your significant other? Like,
I never thought of it like that.
Like, you,
pretty good idea, really.
Like a family, like, we have a family meeting, like, especially when the kids are acting out. We have family meetings. We're like, hey, we're going to press the reset button, but here are your responsibilities from here on out. This is what you get when you, like, meet this goal.
Yeah.
And we set those goals for our kids, but then Will and I don't then translate it to ourselves. So, like, one of my goals this year is to sit down and have that kind of meeting with Will, and then, like, we'll have that check-in. Like, we really want to take whatever. And we do have to have some discussion because, like, my mom lives on the East Coast. So it's like, money-wise, we have to say, okay, we need to save X amount of dollars to go here, or my brother lives in California, so are we going to save X amount of dollars to go there, which means we're also going to Disney and whatever. So it's like, but I really want to have the goals, like, I know it's important to him. Because I'm a workaholic, I compartmentalize. So it's like, most of the time I'm in work mode. I'm always thinking about work. And part of that is because of our work, right? Like, everyone's off work when we're cooking dinner.
Right.
We talked about that. But, like, for me, I want to sit down and have that meeting with him and say, like, I know it's important to you to have that, like, connection away from the kids. So, like, I can't commit personally to an every month date night because of his work schedule and my work schedule. Like, there's just no way to do that. Can we do, say, quarterly we're going to have a date night? And then we can work towards that every month, having a date night. But, like, really just quarterly, go to a really nice dinner, go to the movies, do something where it's just us. And, like, can we do that? And, like, set other goals. Like, you know, going away on a vacation that's just us without the kids.
Have you ever done that?
Yes. We have done that. And we've done that twice now. And it's hard for me because I have a hard time leaving my kids. And not because they have phenomenal grandparents. They do. But because I feel like my kids are my responsibility and I'm putting them off on somebody else. Yeah. And I have a really hard time with that as a parent. Yeah. Because my parents didn't get to go on vacations and stuff. They didn't leave us with anybody. If we went on vacation, it was as a family. Yeah. Which I love those memories, but I also realize, like, now that Will and I have done it, how important that reset button is for a marriage.
It is.
Because, you know, they always say that you're supposed to have, like, if you're a religious believer, it's, you know, God, marriage, kids. But often with moms, it's like kids.
And it's true.
Yeah. And then maybe husband, maybe we'll get to a Bible study. And then somewhere down the line, we've decided that we need a new sweater because our one shirt has a hole in it or whatever. But it's like, usually we're really low on the list. And so you don't realize it until you put yourself in that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's very, very true. We've done a couple of, I would say probably in the last 2 years or so, because for most of our marriage, we really didn't. We go away for a couple days. And like we've been to the Vegas a couple times, and that's with a group of friends. And we've done things like that. And I will say, I am ready to get home. I am ready to see my babies. I am, you know, all the things. But it does help your marriage because it is so easy to fall into
roommate status.
We're parents.
Yes. Yeah, roommate status.
Yes. Doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, you know. And I do think it's important.
I'm different. Me and Jared are, I guess. We take a lot of vacations with our kids and without our kids. And I would say that, like, without our kids is probably more than with. But we've done that our whole time together because, like, when we started dating, we were apart, so we would travel to see each other. So then when we got together and we got married, like, Jillian was always with her Mimi, and so Mimi would always be like, I want her.
Yeah.
Like, even now, she's like, can she come stay the weekend? I'm like, sure. See you later. You don't want to come
and
home?
we don't have that as much.
I got lucky, but we also plan our entire schedule around Josh.
Yeah.
So
Also true.
we don't do anything if it's the first, third, or fifth weekend of the month if we can help it.
Yeah.
There are some times where we have made like a couple of like exemptions. Like we went to the Foster Village event and Jared came for like 2 hours and then he's like, I'm going to go back home to the kids. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay. He's like, that's fine. You know, so like, but there's not a lot. Like we don't go out of town when we have both kids, but we made that commitment a long time ago. Like our focus is when we have Josh, it's Josh and Jillian. We do everything with them. We used to plan every vacation around that. But then I was like, it's unfair to Jillian.
Yeah, that's hard.
Because what if something came up and we could only do it then and we don't have Josh? Like, that's not fair.
Right.
So, like, we started a couple years ago going to the beach or something for her. Just her and a friend. Because, like, obviously Josh gets to go do things with his mom. So I felt like it was unfair that we were just sitting here waiting for him to come to go do something.
Sure.
And so now Jared and I are like, okay, let's go on a vacation. Like, earlier this year, we went to New York for our anniversary. And that was a really fun trip. He just surprised me with it. And then one day I was getting my nails done. And he's like, want to go to New Orleans? I was like, yeah. So we drove and went to New Orleans for a whole week. And nobody knew we went. We told absolutely no one except for Mimi.
And I think that's great.
I think that's amazing.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
Because it is like an adventure. It takes you back to when
you were dating.
And you didn't have all the worries.
And you didn't have the worries. And it was just, it's so like relieving almost. Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, and like now we're talking about like going to Texas 2K, which is now in Dallas, like for Jared's job. Well, he has to work the whole week and he's going to be in Dallas. Well, we have Josh that weekend. I'm like, cool, can we come? He's like, yeah, you can stay in my room. And I'm like, cool, little mini vacay.
Yeah,
like,
we've
what's
done that.
up? You know, but like, those are goals, but they're not like goals. Like, my goal's not like, I want to take all my kids on all these adventures and stuff. I need to set a personal goal.
I was going to say, so what could you set as like a marriage goal that would be good, that you feel would be good for you and Jared?
Dun, dun, dun.
Not to drain the I don't know. I literally like, personally, a personal goal for myself would be to change the way I snap at him when he can't remember things, because I did that last night.
It's
And
fresh on the mind.
It really is. And it was, well, I told him you weren't going to the music concert. And I was like, but we are. Like, I told you this. You don't remember? Like, I know I'm snappy. I'm snappy at everybody. Mm-hmm. That is just my personality. I don't know how else to put it. So a personal goal of mine would be to, like, not be.
Bring that in?
Yeah, not be so snappy. But, like, I wish I could have a marriage goal. I just don't have one. Like, could you tell me what yours may be so maybe I can copy paste?
Yeah, I mean, Will and I's goal is to like meet with Matt and kind of set up some different financial goals.
Okay.
So like for us, we really need to, and it's like a fight every time, and it's so hard so we need to fix our will because Theo's been born.
Yeah, we don't even have a will. So maybe that should be a goal.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
it's very hard because in your will, if you were to both die, you have to pick someone to have your kids.
That's heavy.
It's heavy and it's hard because it's like I have siblings, he has siblings, like
They're all different.
They're all different. They all have different things. So it's like
wonderful in their own way.
right, like
You can put my name down if you want.
my sister is like she's got kids, but like they're older. So like for her, it would be like starting all over again.
Am I burdening her?
I'm burdening her. My brother, he's gonna have 4 kids, and he's in the military. I'm like, well,
Now you want to give him 7?
yeah. Now you're gonna have 7 and have to move them all, and like it would be even harder for him to stay in contact with my family and to be seen by my mom because how the hell do you afford
7 kids.
7 kids flying wherever?
That's 9 flights.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of math. I'm not good at math,
Yeah,
but like
that's
think
a
about,
lot of
like,
dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like $400 a person on a good day times 9. What's that? 3,600. What's 9 times 4?
Yeah,
36.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And then, so then we go to like his one brother is single. His other brother has 2 kids and they're young. And of course they'll grow up. But like if they have more, then we're just like throwing 3 on them. And then his sister has 2 kids and then, throwing 2 more on them. And it's just like, gosh. And
I literally have never thought of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have had someone that we know that they both died in a car crash and they did not have a will. And then it was a problem with the grandparents fighting for the kids. And then it's like one of the kids was 10. So you get brought into court and it's I don't want my kids to do that.
No.
I don't
You
want
it designated already.
Yes.
This is what they wanted. This is.
Yeah. And, medical power of attorney and like, because if something were to happen like that, you have to have a medical power of attorney. Because like, if you and Jared are both unconscious, who are you going to trust to make medical decisions for you? If one spouse is not able to make a sound medical decision, who are you going to pick? So I'm like, well, for me, it's going to be my mom because she knows my medical history past if Will's unavailable, and for him, it's going to be his parents at this point.
I don't have someone to do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing about
then
goals.
You have a directive.
But I don't have.
Then you have to write out a directive. It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's heavy.
Well,
and
I'm
so
gonna
like,
make Cate be my person because.
oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well,
She'll
I
haunt
don't.
me from the grave.
Right.
Yeah, I will. I'll come for you.
I know.
I think that goals are hard. Like
They're always heavy.
Yes, well that's a really good word because, I mean, there are so many goals to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Personal, financial, marriage, parents. I mean, so many.
That thing is in my butt. It hurts so bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
It was digging into my butt.
Well, you got it fixed.
No. Okay. I'm really sorry.
You're fine.
It was stuck on my pants, so I couldn't get out of it.
Tying you down.
Okay.
But I think it's a good thing for everybody to look at. And I think that has been one thing that's been good. Like when Matt came in, I was like, huh?
Yeah.
What? And then afterwards he's like, yeah, y'all call me. All y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all all call me.
I went home and told Will, and he was like, yeah, I've been telling you that for like a year. I'm like, you shh.
I haven't told Jared.
I'm like, la, 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 la.
Oh, you'll hear it.
Yeah, I just haven't told him about it yet.
Well, because the episode hasn't come out, so he hasn't listened to it.
No, he hasn't listened to it yet.
Right.
So he'll listen January, whatever date that comes out. I'm like,
I think because they're so heavy, do one thing at a time.
Yeah, 100%.
What's your personal goal?
See,
I know you said you're trying to go away from this.
I know.
I see you teetering off to
I have
not
so
tell us
many.
yours. Tell me your top personal goal. That if you want to share it. If not, tell me your second.
I'll tell you
top
personal goal.
I'll tell you a shareable one. Let's think. Now I can't think of my words, but probably to be more present.
That's a good one.
Because, in real estate, in my world, in my professional world, it's been a hard year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's been very hard. And I have found myself being so trying to fix what's been a hard year. Some of it is out of my control, that I am not as present with my family as I could be.
Yeah.
I think a word for you that I keep seeing over and over again, and I love those, like, the first 4 words you see in this mess or whatever, but the word you say a lot recently is intentional. And I think that's a really good word for you, because that's what you're saying. You want to be intentional with your time with your family. You want to be intentional with your time at work. You want to be intentional helping all your clients, intentional with your husband. Like, I feel like that's like a good word for you for 2024.
I'll own that. I can own that, because that's very true. Because I've had the conversation about, the podcast and of all the things. I do want to be intentional. I'll take that.
I think that's a good word for you. And I think I've seen that in you. Like, because one of my goals last year that I have successfully done is I never send my kids, unless I absolutely have to, I never send them to aftercare. I pick my kids up
We
every
both did
day.
that last year.
Yes, and I'd sit we would do our pipeline call as we're both sitting in the carpool line.
Yes.
And we do that still
Yes.
a lot of the times, but that was a big goal for me because I'd send my kids because in my brain, work was 9 to 5. So my kids went to aftercare. I paid for aftercare because I needed to pick them up at 5. But I'm like, I don't need to pick them up at 5. I need to pick my kids up at 3:30.
I heard you say that, like, over the time that we've all been together. Yeah. I've heard you say that, like, that was something I strived to do. And since then, I have picked my kid up. I have not made her ride the bus because it doesn't give me any extra time.
Right.
It doesn't, I don't have to stop any extra. I still have to make the same drive. She's either last picked up or middle picked up. But just yesterday, I was like, I can pick her up.
Right.
Like, there's no reason that I need to pick her up. She enjoys that. She thinks it's cool.
Yes.
So, okay, let's do that. So, but in my head, I heard your words. My goal was to make sure I'm picking my kids up and not sending them to aftercare.
Well, and I think it's good.
And I never even sent her to after. I just made her ride the bus.
Well, and my thing is like, I notice more in my oldest than I do in Everett right now because I think it's partially Everett's age. But, like, James is, when you go from school to aftercare, you're not out of that environment.
No.
And James needs to decompress. Even though he's playing, not doing homework, whatever, he's a decompressed kid. Like, he needs to come down from the day. And so, like, when he gets in the car, I'm always like, hey, bud, how was your day? What was your favorite part about the day?
Yeah.
And then if we don't talk about school for the remaining 20 minutes home, great. Like, that's fine. But I want to pull him out because you have to put him right back in because he's got homework. So it's like, I want him to have
a
that
minute.
Yeah, because otherwise he's on, if he's in aftercare, he's on this, like, high of, like, playing.
Yes.
And it's very hard to put him, like, back in that environment. And so for me, it was like, but it's also, like, really stress relieving for me to see my kids at the end of the day. Like,
yeah.
To just, like, have conversations with them, to laugh with them. Like, that was a big thing for me. And for me, it was like, I feel like I'm become a better mom because of it. I'm not shoving my kids to the side. That's how I, like, saw myself, whether that's how it was or reality or not. Like, I have the ability and I'm blessed to be able to pick my kids up, and I don't want to shove them to the side. Like, if you have to work a 9 to 5, absolutely, that's what aftercare is there for. That's great. But mentally, I was like, why are you doing that? So you can write that last email that you could write at home, even though you're cooking dinner and the kids are doing math and whatever. Like,
so whether you sent it at 4 or 7, it's
that
not
email went out.
It went out. Yeah. I feel like as you're sitting there talking, I'm thinking about, like, what my goal could be for next year. And it could be like, when my daughter asks me to do something, say, okay, and not say, when I'm done doing this. Because I'm sitting here like, I've done that a lot this week. Mm-hmm. I'll get you that when I'm done.
Right.
I'll get to that when I'm done. And then I forget. It's back to that, my kid wants a sandwich. And I forget. And 20 minutes later, she's asking me for a sandwich again. And I'm like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Because, like, I am so focused on something else that I'm like, oh, I forgot what I was doing.
Yeah.
So that would be a really good personal goal for me. But I still don't, like, know. Like,
We'll talk about it at the end of the year.
Well, it's okay that you don't know right
a
now.
whole year
right?
away?
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
It's okay that you, like, don't know right now, right?
Yes.
Like, it's okay that
That's the other thing.
Like, I don't know that I have, like, that's my marriage goal, right? To figure out some of our heavier financial stuff that I don't want to do.
And you can't do that overnight.
I can't do it overnight. It's going to be an all-year process. However, like, I don't know that I have a personal goal, because to me, this year, I know that I want my personal goal to be me. Like, last year it was me, but it was me in relation to my kids. Mm-hmm. I need a personal goal, because these are the hardest goals, and these are the goals that I'll just be like, nah, I don't need to do that.
Nah, it's good.
It's okay, it's fine. But I want a goal that will 100% benefit me. Like, and not in a, like, I'm going to go buy a Louis Vuitton, whatever. Not that I would even buy that.
Yeah,
but
you're not that person.
You know what I mean? But, like, something that will better myself.
But
like, I did it. I did the hard work to
Yeah.
better myself by doing something for myself. And I want to say it's super cliche. I want to say it's like eating healthier and working out, but I will say that that's a huge stress reliever for me, and I haven't done it really hardcore since I've had kids.
Yeah.
And so, like, I want to go sort of backwards and sort of, like, reset myself in that way. But I don't know that 100%. I need to like have like a baby step.
Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of want to try Sarah, the natural primary care doctor we had come in. I kind of want to go to her, and I kind of want to have all of my levels looked at, because like I am anemic, and some days it hits me way harder than other days.
Right.
And I feel it all the way down to my core. Ask me if I do anything for it. I don't. When those days come, I pop out the iron, and I take an iron pill with some orange juice, and then the next day I do it again. And then when I feel better, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm done. You know, so like I think that figuring out the underlying issues of myself would probably help me, which could be a good thing to then make me maybe feel like I'm doing something for myself. Will I do that? I don't know, but I should.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing, is just start somewhere. For me, last year, I started picking my kid up for school.
Yeah.
And it sounds silly, but the truth of it is I'm going to have plenty of time to write that email. And honestly, when I say to people, okay, well, I got to pick up my son and let me get him settled, and then nobody has said, what do you mean?
Yeah, when
They're like, oh, no rush.
I used to never bring my kids up. I would be like, I have an appointment, I have to do this, I have to do that. But now that I'm like, I'm at Taekwondo, it might be really loud in the background. People are like, that's no problem, you can call me after. And I'm like, oh, like, yes. People do understand that I have a life.
Yes. It was more of a personal hang up.
Yep.
Yes.
You felt like you had to separate your kids from your family, but the truth of it is the business we're in is people need to do our business when our kids are with us, when our families are around us. And so that they are part of our business. Mm-hmm. They just are. And it's okay. It's okay to say, sure, let me cook dinner real quick. I used to never say that. Never. And that's okay.
Yeah.
If not, our clients think we starve.
Right.
People must think we are like zombies.
Yeah.
I think that people more appreciate that you're human and real.
Yeah.
So I personally, that is one goal that I did do last year, and I probably need to work on some more this year for sure.
I think having them in buckets, right? Like, I think if we say, like, I'm going to make 2 professional goals this year, a marriage goal and a personal goal, right? So that's 4 goals. That's a lot. 4 goals is a lot to get through in 1 year. People are like, oh, 4 goals, 5 goals, I've got this. And I'm like, but if they're really, really good intentional goals, they should be hard. And you should have to make a plan. It's not like
uncomfortable.
Yeah, you should have to be uncomfortable. It can't be like, oh, well, I wanted new throw pillows. And it's like, oh, I went to Hobby Lobby, I solved that. Like,
right.
Done. It should be something really, really hard and makes you uncomfortable. And you're like, but I'm going to do the damn thing.
Right.
Like, sometimes just life makes me uncomfortable.
Life,
like I am sitting here like sometimes life just makes me uncomfortable. This conversation makes me uncomfortable. Yeah. Because I don't know. And it makes me feel like...
And you don't have to.
But it makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong because, like, I don't have personal goals. I don't have a marriage goal. I don't have this. I don't have my life together.
But that was
I am a hot-ass mess.
But that was a growing point in why we did January the way that we did.
Yes.
Like,
I did learn a lot.
That's why we were like, hey... People don't goal set for themselves. They goal set professionally most of the time, but they don't goal set for themselves. Like, how can we grow from our own podcast? So we brought people in that we felt were going to help us.
Yeah.
Right.
We brought in a financial person. It's like, oh, I didn't even think about those things. We brought in someone that can help us with our health. Like, we've all talked about our health issues and like whatever. So it's like, you don't know what you don't know. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong because you haven't done it. I think as you get older, you just learn that, like, you have to start setting other goals because the minutia of life gets you, like, in this tornado where you're constantly just doing instead of stepping out and being the eye of the storm where it's, like, calm and you can think and whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think that you're doing anything wrong. No. I just think that it's thinking about it differently. Like, oh, I should set a personal goal, but what is that personal goal going to be? And if it is, I'm going to have Jillian eat healthier, it's like maybe that's a goal that you and her do together. Mom and you are on a journey to eat healthier together. We're going to do this together.
Which we, like, with Josh, like, we have a goal for him because, you know, we cut out red dye.
Yes.
So, like, that was a whole undertaking. But, like, I still have to buy 2 sets of groceries because my dye-eating child won't eat anything new.
Right.
So, like...
They're all hard, and that's okay.
It is.
And they should be hard.
And you just do the best you can with what you've got.
I will say that a goal I made this year when dance started was to not let it consume my life. And I haven't, to the point where I will not do any dance emails, any dance fundraising, anything like that if it's not a Tuesday, because Tuesdays are my dance days. So Tuesday during the day, I work on things. I will open the email and I'll look to see what I can find. Obviously, last week was different because we were preparing for Christmas show and then the parade. But, like, outside of that, and I didn't do extra because other parents didn't help. I didn't do it all. And I have been saying recently, I am only one person. I can't do it all.
Yes. Well, and I have heard you say things like a T-shirt or something. Like, they needed to buy a T-shirt. And I feel like in the past, you would have just bought extra. And this year, we were like, you put it on the parents. You were like, this is your responsibility. And the parents will be like, oh, let me order one. I'm late. And you're like, sorry, order's closed.
Yeah.
And you're not taking on that financial responsibility. And you're not taking on.
Like, last season, I bought a dancer. Last season, dancers and parents had to buy shirts. This season, only our parents did because we had enough sponsors. So last season, I had a dancer and a parent that, like, weren't going to buy a shirt. I just knew it. And it always comes down to some financial stuff or whatever. And I'm like, I'll just buy it. She's like, I'll pay you back. I'm like, don't worry about it. But, like, if I look back at all the times, I'm like, I'll just buy it for dance. Man. And
adds up.
And I'm just a volunteer.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I don't
See, so you have goals.
You just don't know that you do.
You just have never maybe vocalized them out loud.
As a goal.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
But that's
it's me saying no. Like, I need to learn to say no more.
Yeah.
Didn't you just say that? Like, on the phone? Didn't you just say I need to learn to say no more?
Yes.
And I said me too. Because I don't. I'm like, oh, let me fix this. Like, I'm texting Cate last night. Hey,
no is an answer.
My client sold their bedroom furniture.
No.
We have an open house on Sunday. Help me.
Yeah.
Like,
she didn't say no, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, no's a whole ass sentence. It's a strong one, and it's a whole ass sentence, and it makes a statement, and that's what scares people to do it more than anything. And I think all three of us have this personality where it's like, we want to fix it. Like,
you said it too. We're fixers. You said you were a fixer earlier. Like, we are fixers. I want to fix everything.
Like, I was venting to you guys about something, and Christina's immediate response was, how can I help?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just, nothing. I'm diarrheaing of the mouth.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
Sometimes just shut up and listen.
But it's just like,
yeah.
I love that that's the way that, like, our personalities
Yeah.
are, but it is also incredibly draining because you're always, like, putting a hand out for somebody else. And so,
always. And it's not that we're putting it out for something in return. We're putting it out so they feel good about the situation. Because what else are we supposed to do?
Right.
And they want to say that it's, like, based off of, like, your sign or whatever, but, like, what are you?
Yes.
Taurus.
What are you?
Gemini.
And I'm a Libra, so it ain't true.
I don't know anything about any of them.
Me neither, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, you would have thought that we all would have been a fixer under the same sign if signs were whatever.
Yeah.
But we're obviously not. We're all totally different humans and live a totally different life, but, like, at the same time, we all live the same lifestyle of, you have a problem, how can I fix it?
Yeah.
Right. How can I help?
Yo, I'll solve it.
And, well, and
Check
there
out
are
the hook.
certain people that come into our lives that we see that we think we can fix, help, whatever you want to say, and
They
then
become a leech.
They leech onto our energy. And somebody said it to me one time, was that they're energy vampires, and it's like, that is so hard.
Yes. And I have to learn that my husband normally can pick those people out very well. My husband doesn't like a lot of my friends, and he will be very bluntly tell me he does not like them.
I'm a good people reader too.
And
You are a good people reader. You're a really good people reader.
he really likes Cate. They discussed last night on the phone that they have, like, a brother-sister relationship
Oh, good.
because he always yells, "Love you, bye,
Love you, bye.
love you, bye," even when we're in the middle of a friendship.
He tries
Or
to,
a conversation.
He tries to hang up. Every time he knows it's me on the phone, he tries to hang up Jen's phone. And I'm like, look. I'm like, I have one last thing to say.
And then he's like, hang up the phone 30 minutes later. You know? But, like, there are certain friends that, like, I was talking to him about someone and he was like, they are a leech. And I'm like,
yep. Everybody needs.
you're
It's okay to
right.
have their place.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're right, but like, what do I do?
Well, maybe one of your goals is to rid yourself of that toxic person in your life. And I think all of us
I
probably
did
have
rid
one.
myself of a whole crew earlier this year,
Yeah.
which is a story for another
We've
day.
all been there. We've all been
which
there.
hurts. And
does.
that's I think the hardest part too is I don't like to hurt people's feelings.
But you don't want to be hurt either.
No. Excuse me. I just burped. I hope you heard it.
No, I did not.
So let's all make goals. Whether you say it out loud, whether you write it down and hide it in a book.
But I want to know, if you made a goal, I don't need to know your goal, but put it in the comments or shoot us a DM or an email.
Tell us you did it, and we.
Well, I want to check in with you
Yeah.
at the end of the year, halfway through the year. Hey, I did the damn thing.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yes.
it was, and maybe we can learn something from you. Maybe we can be copy and paste.
Give us your tips.
Yeah, give us
Yes.
your tips because goals are hard.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
want to know what yours are, so maybe I
Even
can
if
be
it's small, even if it's doing something personal for yourself, maybe you need to take a time to do something for yourself. Do
Yes.
it. Or maybe you need to, I know it's stupid, buy something for yourself, which is a totally different goal, but maybe that's someone's goal is I never buy something for myself, let me buy something for myself.
Right.
Maybe that makes them happy.
Share
do
with us.
one thing that makes you happy
Yes.
daily.
I want to know. We love talking to you guys. Be selfish. Listen to All January because we feel like we tried to bring some value to setting good goals for you guys. And set your goals differently this year. Don't prioritize your professional goals. Prioritize your personal and your family goals.
You can always find us at Real Estate Misfit Moms at gmail.com. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. This has been Real Estate Misfit Moms. Don't forget to follow us on socials at Real Estate Misfit Moms and bookmark our podcast so you never miss an episode. Remember, miss, you fit in here.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.